Podcast City Network.
Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show. A shot of entertainment to the head. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the entertainment.
Welcome, everyone, to the Everett Lee Show podcast. Quick shout out to everyone that follows me on Twitter. You can follow me at the Everett_Lee, Facebook.com/EverettLee. Click that thumbs up. And, of course, Podcast City Network, the official host of the Everett Lee Show. Before I get to my guest tonight, I want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife's aunt, Margie, celebrating her birthday tonight. Here's to you, Margie. Happy birthday, and many, many more to come. But let's get on to my guest. Right now, I have on the line, she was one of the original Glow girls, Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. I want to welcome to the program tonight none other than Sunny, the California girl, Patricia Summerland. How you doing there, Patricia?
I'm doing great. How are you, Everett? And happy birthday to your wonderful wife, too.
It's actually her aunt.
Oh, her aunt. Well, there you go. Happy birthday, aunt. And happy Thanksgiving week to everyone who's listening.
Yes. It's pretty crazy out there in California right now, last-minute shopping and everything, getting ready for Thanksgiving, right?
Oh, my gosh. What isn't crazy out here in California? It doesn't need to be a holiday to be that, let me tell you. It's always traffic. It's tons of people. And, oh, my gosh, I'm almost bah humbug. But, you know, I'm happy to be back because I don't like to be stuck in all that traffic. And we're going to be snowed in.
Oh, damn.
Snow, yeah. So, you know, for us, it's like driving down the mountain where I live. I live up in 5,800 feet in National Forest. So it takes me a while to get down to the store. It's about an hour drive. So we get our stuff, and then we drive back up. But we're actually going to be slammed with snow starting at 2 a.m., and then it'll last probably till Saturday. So after the snow melts, we're still stuck. Why? Because we have and I call them snowbirds. They all come up here to try to touch the snow and play in the snow, and they block our roads, and we can't get out. And it's kind of irritating for us people who live here, and for the people who visit, they have a happy time.
I would say, I definitely would say, man, that's crazy. That is definitely crazy. But speaking of California, you pretty much have lived in California your whole life, correct?
I'm born and raised, yeah. Yes. I'm a native. I was born in East L.A., man. East L.A.
East L.A.
Yep.
Wow.
And I was raised in the wonderful, beautiful city of La Crescenta and Glendale, La Quinata area. So, but I lived in other states. I've lived everywhere, actually. Okay. But I always returned to California.
Right. Pretty much, if no one already knows that you were one of the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. You were on the show Glow. There was a show before the Netflix show, which was Glow. It lasted 4 seasons. And what was life for you before Glow and after Glow?
Oh, gosh. Well, before Glow, I was already in showbiz. So I've been an actress since I was 5 years old. Uh-huh. I did my first movie called The $6.50 Man from the $6 Million Man. And I did several commercials, ESPN and all those type of things. But Glow, how I got into Glow was I was raised in a family that loved wrestling, which was my father and one of my older brothers. We'd go to the Olympic Auditorium and watch Freddie Blassie, Classy Blassie, and The Destroyer, and all those guys, Mr. Moto, and the list goes on of all the great pro wrestlers that have performed at the Olympic Auditorium. So again, I was around 5 years old and would sit there with my father, my brother, and my mother, not by her choice. My mother loved the roller derby. So we would watch the roller derby, I think it was Friday, and then the matches Saturday. So we spent our life down there at the Olympic Auditorium Friday, Saturday. That was my parents' getaway because they worked so hard. But that's one of the reasons I got into Glow, because my father was a wrestling fan and also friends with all of them, as well as my brother. So he got really close with a lot of the pro wrestling family. So I had the original Destroyer's mask when I was in diapers.
Wow.
And I didn't even know why I had the Destroyer's mask on, but that kind of tells you the story there, because they would all come over to my mom's house for dinner after the matches.
Uh-huh.
And my mom would have a big feast for all the pro wrestlers. And then one day, as I got older, through my modeling career and acting career, I'm sitting there at my parents' house, and I'm in the back room. My dad calls me out, and he goes, "Come here, sit down. You've got to watch this." And I'm like, uh-oh, what am I going to watch? It was Glow on television. He's watching all these women wrestling, all different sizes, shapes, and colors, kicking butt on TV. And I'm like, wow, this is cool. It's about time there's women wrestling. And I'm watching it, and I really enjoyed it. And at the end of it, the show, it says, "Do you want to be a Glow girl?" Send in your headshot. And, they were auditioning. And my dad looks at me and he said, "You should do that." And I'm like, "Are you kidding?" I go, "I'm a track runner, a model. I can't do that. They're going to kill me, Right. And sure enough, I sent in my picture and my resume and stuff with my acting stuff on there. And then I get a call probably a week later to come try out, audition for Glow, and it was in North Hollywood, California, and there was probably, I must say, at least 300 to 350 girls there.
Wow.
So I was one of the girls that got chosen. From there, that doesn't mean you're a Glow girl, by the way. Once you get the audition, the first audition, no way, no how are you a Glow girl. Mm-hmm. But you do get to go to Las Vegas to try out to become a Glow girl. Okay. So from there, I went to Vegas, and that's where there was more girls. I think at that time they whittled down to like 150.
Right.
And we tried out. We went through all the military training. We learned how to do military push-ups, not sissy push-ups. We had to do 100 a day, 3 times a day. We went through this grueling training they put us through, and it was for, I would say, 6 weeks. Uh-huh. And through those 6 weeks, they look at your character, of what you are like, how you are going through this training.
Right.
The producer, the director, and a writer was there, and they evaluate you. Now, through this training, you're still not in. But girls would fall out. They couldn't handle it. So it got narrowed down to 75, and it got narrowed down to 35 girls, and that was Glow. The 35 girls, now they have to pick your character. You don't get to pick your character. Right. So we had no choice of who we were or what we were, by the way, for all you listeners out there. We did not have a say-so. So for me, I showed up there blonde, completely not the way I look now, but not so different other than my hair color, because I was the beach girl.
Right. My
character is every bit of who I was and still am. However, I live in the mountains now, but I came there with blonde hair from doing Sun In at the Beach in the 80s. That's what we did. Mm-hmm. And I was really tan, very happy-go-lucky. I was always happy, smiling. God knows why. I'd sit there and do push-ups till I wanted to die, but I'd still be smiling. And I didn't realize that. So when Matt gave me the character, not only that, he said, "You remind me of my ex-wife, who was Jane Mansfield." And I had no idea of that either. And I'm like, Jane Mansfield, wait a minute, because here I am in my 20s. I'm like early 20s. I think I was 21, 22 when I went to the show. And I had no clue. I'm like, okay, oh, yeah, Marilyn Monroe, Jane Mansfield, I get it. Yeah. And he goes, yeah. And he showed me pictures of her, and he goes, "You're going to look like her." And I go, "What?" Because she kind of looks like you. You guys are similar. And I'm like, "Wasn't she short and really thick, like Marilyn Monroe?" And I go, and he goes, "No." And he goes, "Actually, she was taller. She was more, longer legs. I guess she had really long legs, whatever." But right. The similarity was that of my character mixed with the dumb blonde, meets California, meets this fun and sun girl, and that's how Sunny, the California girl, was born, which I am from California. So I'm true to the the nature of the fun and sun and surf. The knock-knock jokes came in for the dumb blonde stuff. Because I also sang. I love to sing, so before I went to Glow, I was doing some lounge singing. So they gave me the knock-knock jokes to incorporate my singing and knock-knock. I'm like, what? How am I going to sing a knock-knock joke? But I managed to do it, so.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
And that's how that happened.
Speaking of knock-knock joke, I looked up some footage of you on YouTube, and right before one of your matches, you gave a knock-knock joke, and I'm trying to remember right now off the top of my head who you had that match with, though, but it was a grueling match, man. I mean, you pretty much came back with the comeback, though, but you pretty much... You held your own in that match.
The pretty blonde always does.
Yes.
I always lost. It just was hopeless. I actually had disqualifications. I was happy with the disqual, but, I was never to win. Just wasn't going to be. The baby faces in Glow really never won. The crown holders were the heels.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah.
Right. After Glow ended, after 4 seasons... What did you do afterwards? Because Glow's done, and what did you decide to do with yourself?
I left before the ending of Glow. Glow wasn't supposed to end. There was supposed to be a movie.
Right.
Glow was going to go on and do a feature film.
Okay.
And that's what we were all excited about. But the reason why I left was I was in a match. My dad had been in and out of the hospital, and he was super strong. My dad was always healthy, never any problems. Well, I don't know what happened, but he ended up in the hospital while I was in Glow, and I was performing, and I would get a call here and there and talk to him while he was in the hospital. My mom had called in my match and spoke to the director, and he had actually told me that, my dad's ill. And I'm like, no, it can't be. What are you kidding? So it was kind of a real quick thing. He said, I've got to take you out of this match. You're not even concentrating. I wasn't all there because I was worried about my father. So He pulled me out. We get the phone call. He calls me, and he calls me in the room, and he's like, you've got to go. You've got to go see your dad. Your mom, says you have to go. So I called my mom. He said, yeah. She goes, your dad's not expected to live past 5 days. I'm like, what? So I packed up my bags, and I got on the next. I took a cab. This was probably the most longest, I don't know, because me and my dad, you have to understand, I was very close.
Right.
I was daddy's little girl, and it comes with the story, which you guys will all know in my book and movie, but it was the most painful thing I could ever endure. I mean, I would have much rather been body slammed, pile driven 50,000 times than to deal with that news and it was just not real. So I get in a cab from Las Vegas. It was the longest cab ride to the airport, get on the plane, get to Long Beach, California, where my dad was at St. Mary's Hospital. And I went in, and sure enough, I sat in that room with my mom for 5 days and watched my father fight and battle. What killed my father was lung cancer. It was a little spot on his lung, but that's not why he was in the hospital. The bag behind his heart had collapsed, and they were waiting for a heart donor, but the heart donor wasn't coming for a couple days. And at the time, the specialist went down and tested this spot on his lung. It spread. That's what killed my father. So it was horrible. Yeah, that was it. So after that happened, I wanted to return to Vegas with a vengeance. Now, Sonny's not so sunny. Sonny's like I don't know, how would I say, a tailspin? Because I was really mad. I was upset, mad at God. I'm like, I don't understand what just happened. You took my father. You took my life. You took everything that represented what I was doing, which was wrestling at that time. That was his dream, to see me wrestle. He never got to see me wrestle, by the way. So wow. When he was passing away, I was over in the room over him, and I said, Daddy, I love you. And I go, I'm doing it. I'm wrestling. And he goes, I know, baby. Because I know my mom was telling him, I'm wrestling for Glow and all that, but he never got to see me wrestle because he was ill through those times, and it was really sad. But I felt like, I did him justice, and that will always be with me forever. But I returned to Vegas thinking, hey, Glow is still going. Well, guess what? Glow was no longer. Nobody was there when I returned. I'm like, where did everybody go? Where's Glow? I went to the Riviera. They're like, no, the show's ended. They looked at me like, didn't you know? I'm like, no, I never got a memo.
Wow.
You know? So, yeah, it was a real tough thing. And I decided to stay in Vegas, silly me, because that's when the rest of the craziness begins in my world, needless to say. Yeah. So I had some great success once I returned. It was the rise and fall of being famous, if you will. And that will be in the book and the movie. So I don't want to get too much into that because I want you guys to really purchase the book. That, by the way, the best author, Scott Stevens, a shout out to Scott Stevens, who's doing my book. He will be the author. I'm doing the writing of all the notes and everything and telling him my story. It's going to be a 3-part series or 3-book as well because there's so much. And this is my autobiography, so it's from my birth to the end as much as I can go, of course. Of course, I'm still alive, so yeah.
Yes.
You know, there's enough there for 3 books and then some. But we're going to do that. He's actually got great books out there. Ice, Twister. I mean, amazing books. He's a great author, and he's also done John Abel's. He's doing Brian Blair's now.
Right.
And mine. So, you know, this will be fantastic. Also, he's doing Dwayne Johnson and Rocky Johnson. So,
nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm very happy. I signed the contract a while ago. I'm just dealing with some health issues, so it's kind of been put back. So maybe some other books will be before mine, but that's okay. I don't care. I'm really happy for everyone who gets their story out, you know.
Right. Speaking of your story and talking about your book, which you don't want to give too much detail on, I'm holding right here Sunny the California Girl comic book right here, and I met John Crawford. I met him, and
John Crawford. Yes,
yes,
he's amazing. He's a great writer.
He is.
Yes.
He is. If anyone does not have this, please pick it up because it just only brushes the surface on what about your life and what you basically explained. But this right here, the art and how it's done and everything is just amazing. And I wanted to ask you, how did this one shot come about right here, working with him and with the amazing talent behind Squared Circle here?
Squared Circle comic, and that's a bio comic. So what that is, it's also an autobiography, but it's a shortened part, you know, because it's in the comic. John Crowther had contacted me for the story, and I was really honored and humbled being the first female to ever have the bio comic book in Squared Circle Nation. So, right. And I'm still the only female to have it. But my story is about getting the message out about bullying that you read in the book.
Yes.
My brother was bullied, and I was beating up everyone who bullied him back then. I was a tough little fighter, by the way. So my real life story is not sunny. It really isn't. Even though I'm still the sweetheart, the good girl, which I was then, but I stood up for my brother, who was born with a hip displacement, and his feet were longer than normal. He didn't fit into like the normal look, and he would get teased and taunted. People, you know, were cruel and called him names. And my brother was 4 years older than I was, and I loved my brother, Frankie. He's now since passed away. He committed suicide. So I lost my brother before my father, 3 years actually, before my father passed away. And to this day, I still get very sad and choked up because it was hard. So he was the best, by the way. My brother was the sweetest, kindest soul. And so anybody who would pick on him, that was it. I'm like, leave my brother alone. Like, I warned them, And it was usually girls, believe it or not, that I was
Really?
beating up. The girls were mean to him.
Really?
And some of them were my friends that I thought were my friends.
Right.
And, that was it. But that is in the book. But I do want to mention Kevin Laporte and Amanda Raquels, the owners of Squared Circle Comics. They're awesome, awesome couple, people, wonderful, talented, both of them. Amazing. I'm blessed to have met them, not only in Alabama, and they're where they reside for this comic book, and I got to meet them, and their precious little girl who's also a very good artist. But Amanda did one of the covers of my I have 3 different covers, by the way, of the comic book.
Okay.
So she did one of the covers, and there's another artist, forgive me right now, I can't remember his name, but he's really, really good. He did another cover, and then my book itself, the comic book, was Rich Parada. So he took the story that John Crother wrote, and Rich Parada, the artist of my comic book, did the artistry and made every page come alive. He's brilliant. So, I can't praise Rich Parada enough. And he was an artist for DC Comics, Marvel Comics. He's amazing. Just amazing. And I'm so very, like I said, blessed and humbled to have this book out, and hopefully it touches people's lives, and about having second chances, because I was given a second chance because I had passed away when I was nearly 16. As you see in the comic book, I drowned. I flatlined for 4 minutes, and they called my mother and said I passed away, because I actually did die. But they revamped and brought me back to life. My mother had her first heart attack on the way to the hospital. So you'll read that in there. And then you'll see about my father, and it's very touching. So, and people can relate, because everywhere out there people go through things, and I think if they realize that other people go through these things or go through another type, doesn't matter. It's an ease. It's an assurance, like it's okay. To teach people it's not okay to bully.
Right.
It's a bad thing to be a bully. And in wrestling, we're an entertainment show. We really don't bully at all, even though sometimes it looks like it to some kids because we're in there wrestling each other. But it isn't. We stand against bullying, and I can't stand bullying. So, that's one of my messages to get across in that comic book, and I sure hope it does, because it's you never know what people are going through or who they are or what they're about. Everybody deserves a chance. Everybody deserves love. Everybody needs love, and this is in the whole world, not the hate that we're going through, either over even politics right now. I see so much angry people just hating on everybody. It's like,
I know. Let
people have their own opinions. Let people vote for who they want. Let people be who they want. Let them live. You know what I mean? Let them be who they are, and just be happy in life, and caring and loving, and lend a helping hand. Especially, I'm saying this because we're coming into the holidays, Thanksgiving.
Yes.
What more can we do? We can always do something. You lend a smile at the store today. Even though I'm going through my personal pain, I reach out to people every minute and lend them a happy smile. You know what I mean? A hug. It makes such a difference.
It does.
Such a difference.
It does. It does. What I do during the day in my job, I'm always greeting people, saying hello, and being really friendly, and just acknowledging them. Acknowledging someone, it puts a smile on their face. Let you know that they're there. I totally understand 100%. Yes, and
it feels good. It just does, because there's just so many people rushing and trying to get there, and they don't even pay attention anymore to the smaller things in life, and sometimes we got to do that, stop and say hello and say happy Thanksgiving to somebody, and you'll see what a difference it makes,
Oh yeah, it definitely does make a difference in someone's life. It definitely does. I agree with you 100% right there. I definitely do. With Glow, Netflix Glow, which revived your people finding out about you and the Glow Girls, the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling, finding out there was a show before the Netflix show, and people finding out everything. With the original Glow, I believe they're in their third season, and they are coming back next year for fourth season. How come? Why do you think? I want to get your opinion on this. Why do you think they never did ask the original Glow Girls to make cameo spots on the show? If they approached you, for instance, Patricia, and said, "Hey, would you like to do a cameo on the show?" Would that have been something you would have jumped on?
Absolutely. And I think they should have. But the way it was done and sold, it was done by one Glow Girl who sold us all out, unfortunately. She sold the script to them, which did not include any of us.
Wow.
And that is Babe, the farmer's daughter. Ursula would be her name. And she walked away with tons of money. And we, as original Glow Girls, got nothing.
Wow.
And unfortunately, that's the way they chose to go with it. Netflix did. And also, with the influence of the script that Babe sold them, I would imagine, which is pretty sad. Very sad, actually, because it would have been a better show if they would have had us in there, as cameos. And, there's not many of us left now because a lot of girls are ill or passed away even. I mean, we've lost quite a few. We just lost one in June, which was Star. Matilda the Hun has been in the hospital fighting every day for 6 months. We don't know what is going to happen there, and we love Matilda the Hun. So it really saddens me that they didn't. And could they afford it? Sure. It's Netflix. Come on. Maybe their fear was like, oh, we pay one girl, we'd have to give the others, on. Or what, I don't know. But we're not in it, and our characters aren't really in it as well. And it is far from the way it was in Glow. It's so fiction, it's not even funny, especially the third season. I like the first and second. I like the third for the wrestling because they finally put the wrestling in third season, but I did not like the storyline at all. That's not the way it happened. And none of that happened in Glow. The only thing that's close is the wrestling, the love for the girls, the way the girls interact. That's how Glow was. But let's face it, it wasn't at all the way it was. And I get it. They had to keep it that way for it to be interesting. You know what I mean? Right. They had to change it completely, and they couldn't have it close to us, and they couldn't put our characters in there because otherwise they would have to pay us or they'd be sued. So what they did is with each character, they mishmashed 3 or 4 characters in one girl.
Right.
And they did it very cleverly. I mean, we give them props, but are we happy? No. But do we care? No. Because we're still the original Glow Girls, and what it did do is bring all of us back, and now we're getting our acknowledgement because everybody's watching Netflix Glow. They're like, oh, wait a minute. There was original Glow Girls? There was original show? And here we are. So, and there's something that hopefully will be coming up next, that's in the works that will bring back some of us Glow Girls that are lucky enough to be a part of Afterglow. Roxy Astor, who created Afterglow, which we're on to bigger and better things now. And that's all I can say, but just stay tuned for that because we're not off television yet.
That's great to hear. I love that. I love that. And speaking of Afterglow, you have an Afterglow cruise. How did that come about? Because I looked into that, and I looked on the website, and just looking at where you went and where you go on the cruise, I was amazed by it. How did that come about? Well,
Roxy Astor created in 2014 the first Afterglow fan party hot seat, which was in Hollywood, California. It was the first land stage show. And that's where she brought us all back together. And by the way, none of us ever really talked before that. It's been years, like 32 years. Wow. And it still is for some of us. We still don't know each other. And the first and second season Glow Girls, we don't really. Only a few, only because of Roxy bringing back the Afterglow, and whoever attended got to know each other. So that's why some of us know each other and some of us really don't. Maybe on Facebook we interact with each other, and that's it.
Right.
But the Afterglow was amazing, and that's where she got the idea of doing a cruise. We were doing I think it was RuPaul Comic-Con.
Uh-huh.
And that's where the idea was, because we had the cruise directors in the next table over, and they said, you want to do a cruise? We're like, yeah, let's do a cruise. So, yeah, this will be our 4th Afterglow cruise.
Wow.
And we're going to Mexico. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And that's April 12th to the 19th. And like I said, Roxy has Afterglow. She owns the rights to the name, and she's created that. And now she's my best friend, so I love Roxy Astor. She's my buddy. And we weren't close in Glow. You know, a lot of people really didn't really get close to me, only because I was close with the director, with Matt Simber. And so I didn't have a lot of friends in Glow. They kind of stayed away from me, thinking I was going to tell the director. I don't know. But of course I wouldn't, but that's just it is. And so now, you know, we form new friendships, and some we don't have friendships with. That's just the way it is, you know.
Right.
Not everybody gets along, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
even in families, let's face it. Do we all get along as siblings? No.
I agree with you right there. I agree with you right there. And you're wrestlers, okay? You're wrestlers, and the kayfabe, the faces stayed in one dressing room and the heels stayed in another. You didn't mix or hang out, correct?
Well, we did. We weren't supposed to, but that was behind closed doors.
Okay.
Only.
Okay.
Yeah, in the public, no. In the public, it was all, we hated the Hills. The Hills hated us. Right. Even going on our tour, when we toured the States, exiting the bus, because we were all on the same bus, but we exited fighting each other, you know, because the fans were out there waiting for us to come to walk off the bus. So we had to. It was always on. Yeah. But, you know, of course we had friendships formed. But the Hill and the Baby in front of any fans, no. They had no clue. They thought we really hate each other.
Got to keep that kayfabe, man. You got to definitely keep that kayfabe.
That's right. You have to.
Yeah,
because then they're disillusioned. They're like, wait a minute. That's not real. You guys really like each other. You know what I mean? So we pulled that off pretty good, I think. And Matt was watching us and making sure we did. You know, we were on a strict... we had rules and regulations to go by. And not like the Netflix that they do, but yeah, he wasn't like that at all. He really wasn't. He wasn't mean like that, how they show Mark Marone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he pushed us only to be better because he knows we could. And if we couldn't, you're out of there. You're fired. And some girls were. They couldn't wrestle. Like you'll see some girls that are in photo shoots, they didn't wrestle. They maybe wrestled one match, and they were fired because they were injured. And they didn't know how to wrestle. And Matt would say so. He's like, oh, my God, and call her name and let her go.
Yeah.
I mean, not a rude, well, I'm not going to say that. It was sometimes kind of brutal. Like he would call somebody mashed potato ass or, you know, she's a mashed potato ass. She's got to get in shape, that type of stuff.
Damn.
You know. Yeah. I mean, with me, too. He was hard on me because I didn't know how to do a handstand to save my life. I hated doing those because I was tall and my legs just didn't want to go stiff and I didn't want to be upside down.
Right.
I hated it.
If you don't mind me asking, how tall are you?
5'10".
5'10"? Okay.
So being 5'10", I was thrown and I lifted.
Okay.
So I got to do both. If it was such a good thing. Yeah, I wasn't just a high fly. I had to do the high flying and, you know. So I got to pick up Big Bad Mama in my match. I don't know how I still did to this day.
She was a
big girl, but yeah, you know, if anyone knows Big Bad Mama, and rest in peace, we love and miss her each and every day. Mountain Fiji, of course, she was on my side. Mountain Fiji and I were buds. I love that woman. I'm still sad that she's gone.
Right. Yeah, I am sorry about the Glow girls that have come and gone, and that those that the ones that passed away. I am so sorry, but I'm glad that having an Afterglow cruise and getting to know the girls that you didn't get to know before when working with them, and then getting to meet the fans and the fan interaction. I know that's amazing right there, and just having a good time, and just taking a trip to Mexico, and just it sounds great. It definitely
it's going to be fun. You should come on. You should get your cabin and join us. Your lovely wife and come on out. It's 7 days in the Mexican Riviera and a lot of surprises. And there'll probably be, I don't know how many Glow Girls on this cruise, but we're going to have a blast. And we do each and every time. And at the end of it, it's a family because it's our private group, and we get up in the morning, you eat breakfast with us, you hang out with us basically all day if you want. And you get to see who we are up close and personal, and then we get to see how you guys are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really, really cool, and yeah, I like that for that reason. And there is serious bonds now, forms of friendship and family now that I have met some great people like Forrest Barnett, who I consider family, Wayne Palmer, family, because I met them on the first cruise, and now they've been on every cruise since, and they're going on this cruise. David Miles, my little buddy, like they'll come over and, they'll come to my house and stay. So that's how it is. And, yeah. So I recommend it, definitely. Go on the site, get your cabin booked, and thank you to Roxy Astor for putting this together and putting all that hard work and effort. That's her baby, She is the creator, and she's got a brilliant mind, and there's going to be more good things to come from this.
The following support and sponsor Podcast City Network. City Limits Tap Room, sports bar in DeLand, Florida, has brew on tap, serve food. The grilled cheese is excellent. For upcoming events, check out City Limits Tap Room on Facebook.com/City Limits Tap Room. Morph Tee, a comfortable and lightweight 100% polyester t-shirt with illustrated morph characters that, when worn, will make the illustrations seem to come to life. For more of Tony Rodriguez's work, you can see his full line of apparel at teespring.com. Sports Sanity Customs have worked with organizations from custom embroidering polo shirts to jerseys for your kids' baseball team. They do it all. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment and an in-house design team, they are equipped to take on your next project. Visit their website to learn more, sportsanitycustoms.com. Visit Sports Sanity Customs on Facebook.com/SportsSanityCustoms. 3Count Design offers a wide range of graphic design products, video, photography and other forms of media. Everything from t-shirt designs to websites. Visit Facebook.com/3CountDesign for more. Demo Blast Studios, an explosion of imagination. Original artwork, podcasts, video, apparel and more. Visit DemoBlastStudios.com. Visit Demoblast Studios on Facebook.com/Demoblast Studios, the best family entertainment pro wrestling show in the state of Kentucky. Kentucky's Own Wrestling brings quality family vintage wrestling to a town near you. Kentucky's Own Wrestling offers a ladies division in wrestling and a training school. Kentucky's Own Wrestling is the current longest running Southern promotion. Visit Facebook.com/Somerset Kentucky's Own Wrestling. All supporters and sponsors are brought to you by Podcast City Network.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
For more of The Everett Lee Show on social media, follow and like The Everett Lee Show on Facebook, The Everett Lee Show, Twitter, @TheEverett_Lee, Instagram, Everett Lee Show. Audio versions of this podcast and previously released podcast can be found on everettleeshow.podbean.com. Stitcher Radio, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. Apple Podcast, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. YouTube, The Everett Lee Show, subscribe to the channel. The Everett Lee Show, your shot of entertainment to the head.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
Your involvement with Cauliflower Alley Club. Tell me about that right there. I like to hear about that there. I know Brian Blair. He's the president of it, if that's correct.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Yes, Carl Lawler was for years, and I love both of those guys. I love all the members of the Cauliflower Alley Club. They're all brilliant, and Morgan. I love Morgan, even though he's stepped away from there, and some others have. I love all of them. I get along with all of them. But Brian Blair's did a wonderful job for the Cauliflower Alley Club. It's a great reunion convention where you can join. It's a small little fee to join. And then you get your banquet ticket. You do have to buy your banquet ticket to attend. But all the money it goes back to any wrestler that is in need, that's hospitalized. The money that's raised, it goes back to that, and that's what this is all about. You know, it's the circle of friendship as well. So, circle of family. You know what I mean? It's all that, and you get to see again up close and personal when you go there, and it's in Las Vegas. I think it's the end of April next year.
Okay.
And and it lasts for 4 days. You have 2 nights of wrestling matches. It's put on by Billy Blade. It's awesome.
Nice.
And again, you just hang out in Vegas. I mean, how much fun is that? And you never know who's going to appear because you've got all the honorees that are there that show up. They get honored each year. And we were honored back in 2017. We were the first group of women to be honored, so we broke the glass ceiling, and I worked really hard on that.
Congratulations.
I took 7 months off to make that happen, and that was pretty awesome. Yeah, I really, really am happy. I'm a lifetime member, and we'll be there each and every year if I can, God willing, and I recommend anybody else because it's for everybody, and yeah, please come out. It's so much fun, and like I said, Brian does a wonderful job.
Nice. Current wrestling. Do you keep up with anything going on with current wrestling with WWE, NXT, AEW? They're the new kid on the block.
I know. There's so many out there now that I can't even. Yeah, I used to have to watch SmackDown every Friday night and critique it because I used to have a show with Rick Drayson.
Yeah. Called
After TV, where we critiqued the SmackDown show, and that was couple years, but after that I couldn't do it anymore. I'm like, okay, nope. I try to, stay away from all that. I do, however, get what's going on or hear what's going on because you cannot. It just comes to me. People always ask me, what, this, or, oh, wow, I kind of stay up on it, but do I watch it? Not so much.
Not so much.
No.
Okay.
No. I know the guys and the ones I have around me. I love Rocky Johnson, and I love all these guys, and it's cool. I hear all the stuff that way. Michael Sam Houston, we're real close. We talk on the phone quite often. But, it is wrestling. It'll never be other. I hope it returns to going back to the old school way more.
Yes.
So I'm kind of liking that part because I believe in the old school way of the way it was back then, not only the performing, but just the camaraderie, the love, and the respect, and hopefully the women. And the women are getting more respect.
They
I
are.
might say, that's
they
a
are.
good thing. Yeah.
Yeah, they are. They definitely are, especially with NXT. NXT, I got to say this, Triple H, he's done a fantastic job. He's built a really good, strong women's division in NXT because with the talent that's come and went on to Raw and SmackDown, and the talent they have right now, right in NXT, is doing a fantastic job. And even branching off into NXT UK, the women's division is still doing strong. And it's great that what they're doing right there and what he's done with that by building that into a great, strong division right there. And yet the NXT with their storylines and their wrestling, that's a lot of people I've talked with have said that NXT reminds them of old WCW, how that was back in the day. But with Raw and SmackDown, I can go on all night talking about what I like and dislike about that. But that's right there. That's for Thursday nights with my co-host, the Chris Rose, which you'll hear more on December 5th. But you've been pretty busy getting a book ready, having a comic book, doing the Afterglow cruise, and just you got a lot on your plate. I don't know how you do it, Patricia. I don't know how you do it.
And my radio shows, don't forget, I have my own radio show coming out December 7th called The Brighter Side with Sunny. And that's going to be a national, international syndicated on Sirius Radio, iHeartRadio. It's going to be awesome. And I'll be live in studio with great guests as well and different topics, many different topics. But I've been a radio show host for 9 years now with just not quite 9, but it will be 9. American Adversaries Talk Radio, which is a political talk meets wrestling. And Brian Blair does Friday. Brian Blair's on every Friday, and I'm on Sundays. So you might want to check it out. We have great topics, great crew: Christopher Hart, Nostra Dennis, Lara Adams, Aubrey Kahn, Kathy Santomassino, and Jeff Cenas on the bridge, and it's a 3-hour tour. So I suggest check us out. It's AM 550, FM 650, I want to say. Mm-hmm. I never know because they call in to me here. I'm out here in California. But we go live every Sunday, and they're on every day of the week, of course.
Yes.
Check them out, American Adversaries Talk Radio.
They're not far from me. They're in Orlando. I'm here in Daytona Beach, and they're not far from me. I've checked them out, and I love the topics and discussions. And then I've catch it when you've come on there on Sundays. I've went back and watched the replay. That's on their Facebook page. You're welcome.
Yes.
And
thank you.
You're welcome. And having your radio show, I think that's awesome because Sirius XM, they have over 32 million people, so your voice will be in 32 plus million people's cars, on any device that can hear you, and that's amazing. I love it. You've come so far, Patricia. You have come so far with everything in your life. You're an amazing person, and it keeps getting better. It keeps getting better for you.
Thank you. Yes, we just got to get through these uphill battles, and I'll be back in action next year. I know it. Yes. I'm going in for surgery if anybody's listening, and I'm actually advocate on that as well because I have implants that I probably didn't need, and really, well, actually, it's not probably I didn't, but I chose to do it. God knows why. Again, it's the catch-up of showbiz and, the perfection that we're raised with, and everything has to be perfect. And knowing I did Playboy in 1999. I did the March issue of Kiss, and I just wanted, I thought I had to be perfect, like everything, God knows. Anyway, long story short, I didn't need implants, put it that way. It's already busty, but I chose to get them in, and I've had them in since 1995. And everybody was against me, and I was stubborn, and I went ahead and did it, and now full circle, they've been recalled, and I've had many illnesses throughout the years that I wasn't aware and why and how I got them because I'm super healthy. I take care of myself. I'm an athlete, right? So I thought, well, I don't know why I'm getting sick. I'm getting sick here. I've got low autoimmune disease. I'm getting rashes. My hair's falling out. I'm tired all the time. I'm all these weird things that are happening. I'm like, and I'm taking all these great things, trying to get better vitamins, doing everything everyone's telling me to do.
Yes.
Even take medications now because the doctors put me on them. And I'm like, okay, well, long story short, it's from the breast implant. So I belong to a group called Breast Implant Illness Group, and the toxicity of the implant. And to clarify for anyone who's listening, it's not whether you have saline in your implant or silicone inside the implant. It's the shell that is around the silicone or saline implant, whether it's textured or smooth. It doesn't matter. There's been mold toxicity that has happened in the implant.
Wow.
And you know what mold does? Well, it's a simple. What mold does causes cancer. So there you go. It's one of the worst things, the worst symptoms, other than the low autoimmune disease and various others. I think there's 60 symptoms that women have have complained about and have gotten from the implants. And there's a huge lawsuit on many of them. Mine was recalled July 2019, so I'm also involved in the lawsuit. But I went to the doctors, and I've seen several, and surgeons, and of course they said, you got to get them out, you're sick, you could possibly die. It's pretty fatal because they're toxic.
Yes.
So you're dealing with metals and everything else that's in the implant, and not to mention the lymphoma that causes the texture, the silicone causes the cancer, and yada yada. So, that's where we're at, and that's why I have that on Facebook. A lot of people I know, I don't care who you are, they don't have 15,000 sitting in the bank. I mean, it would be nice, let's face it.
Yes.
But I myself don't. I've been a struggling single parent. I lost my husband. He passed away in 2012, which wasn't planned. So, we all go through things in life that put us back, and you always try to put your best foot forward, but you get things like this. So, I do have a Facebook GoFundMe, and I can't stand it. I will admit it took every inch of, I'd stand against it, but I was so sick even putting it out there. I'm like, I got to do it. But everyone's like, don't be ashamed. Just do it. You have to.
Yes.
It's your life. What are you doing? And I'm like, okay. So it is out there. If you would just please share it. That means the world to me. Every bit helps. And I don't have that much, time that's going to be out there. And I'm raising a lot of money. I want to thank everybody who has donated. It really is very special to me. Everybody has been so caring, and I really appreciate it. I really, really do. And it's going to go to the good cause. Trust me, it's going to save my life, because I'm going to get that surgery and get it out, and it's going to be a 5-hour surgery. It's not an easy one, because the implant not only is ruptured and encapsulated, but they're in my rib cage. Like, there's particles in the rib cage. It's really not a pretty thing. It's kind of sounds really cringing, so I don't even want to go there. But I will be fine, because I'm a fighter. If anybody's listening and wonders, I'm okay. I still smile every day. On the outside, people say, oh, you look great. But on the inside, I'm not. So just, we have our struggles, everybody out there, and any women who decide that they want to get implants and think that that's a good thing, I recommend don't do it. I recommend doing all your research. Go and there's tons of research out there now. There's many sites you can go to read about it. Don't do it. Please. And their group has over 100, now I think we're way over 100,000 women in there that are explanting. And the explanting is getting them removed. We've got tons of women. So, and it's saved their lives. We've lost a few, in fact, from this, by the way, which is not good. Right. So I just want to put that out there, and anybody has questions, reach out on Facebook. Anybody who's listening that has wanted to get them out or wants to get them in or thought whatever, if they're getting bullied because they don't have any, be yourself, be beautiful, because we're all beautiful. Doesn't matter. Big, small, scarred up, who cares? You're beautiful. So that's my message to everybody.
Nice. I love the message, and I hope you get well. And I hope the operation is successful, and you get them removed, and everything is going to be great. Everything's going to be fine. You were talking about not wanting to do like a GoFundMe and stuff. Jake the Snake Roberts. I watched him growing up as a kid. I watched him, and I love. My favorite move in wrestling is that DDT. I loved how he executed it, because it was just bam, done. That's it. Jake Roberts, a few years ago, I believe, had to get an operation, and he did a GoFundMe and a campaign to get money so he could have an operation, and he didn't think no one gave a damn about him. And they told him, they said, do this. There's a lot of people who still appreciate what you've done for the business and everything. And he was surprised by what came in to help him have the operation. He was shocked about it. Like, wow, I didn't realize how many people cared about me to have this operation.
Yes.
And
yes.
It was amazing, and I hope you get the operation. I went on your Facebook page and I went ahead and I shared it on my platform with everything on Facebook there, and I will go back out there and do it again and let people know and try to get you that support and stuff. And I like to see you get this operation and you get well, because we need you, Sonny.
Stepped up and been so kind, Everett, and I do appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, it's going to happen, and it will happen. So I'm looking at the end of January, maybe as soon as the first week of February, per my doctor, because he said I have to, else I'll get more sick, and I don't want that. I'm not a good person to be sick, and who is, but us wrestlers we're pretty tough, and we have a high tolerance to pain. Otherwise, we wouldn't be in that business, right?
Yes.
But, one thing we definitely don't want to be is down and out, and I definitely don't want to be in bed. And I've did that enough throughout the last couple months, and that's not me. I'm very out and just, I like to keep going. I don't like to go, oh, God, I feel sick, or I feel tired, or whatever. That's just not me. Granted, we do get older, and as natural age progress, those things happen, but not the way this is happening. So I definitely, like I said, I got this. I'm going to. It's going to happen, and I really appreciate each and every one of you. And thank you. Just even lifting up my spirits every day. People reach out to me, and it makes me feel so good.
Right.
And it makes what I did back then. I know I made a difference because I reach out to people and they reach back to me even more so, and that feels good. I'm like, wow, I have people offering to do fundraisers, and that right there, it's just, it's very heartwarming. And like I said, I really am truly, really, really happy, and I love you all. I really do. Sonny loves you all. And Patricia. This is Patricia talking. I love you all. So thank you again.
Yes, we love you, Sonny. We love you, Patricia. You're a fantastic and amazing person. I can't say that enough. I can't say that enough about you. 2020.
Thank you. That's right. It's our year, 2020.
2020.
Heck,
What?
You might even see me back in the ring. Who knows? I may do that. That's how we are, right? We're all crazy wrestlers.
Yeah, I would like to see you back in the ring in 2020. I would love to see you back in the ring in 2020. I mean, if possible, I'd love to see that. What do you have that you can mention going on for 2020? Because we're one more month until 2019's over, Patricia. What 2020? What can you tease for you got on the horizon?
Right. Well, I am appearing in New England, July, I think 21st. You'll see me there.
Wow.
Which I'm really excited about because that's my first one. The Wrestling Con is on my Facebook. I'll post everything under Patricia Summerland. It should be on Sunny, the California Girl, but for some reason I don't get over on that page too much. But I will post all the dates. But, starting next year, I'll do some local appearances here in California. And then we have the cruise, April 12th through the 19th. After the cruise, we have the Cauliflower Alley Club reunion, which is at the end of April. And then I think I have an appearance in June and then July. And that's it so far. I think I'm also going to New York, October, November of next year. So I'll post those two as well. But I plan on being out there. The book, of course, will surface more as we go. And you'll see updates with that. And it is called right now, Beautiful Ashes. And that's for the memory of my biological mother. And you'll understand that with the title when you read the book. I'm not giving that away either. but so that's it for right now on that. But yeah, you can see the updates on my page under Patricia Summerland. And it does say Sunny Glow next to it. So you can look me up there. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm a big LinkedIn supporter. Unfortunately, Twitter and I don't get along so well. You'll see me on there once in a great while, but I'm not really a big Twitterer. Sorry, everyone, but I don't know what it is about Twitter. But Facebook, love it all day. I will be there. And Instagram, I'm there, post pics and stuff. But my most interaction, if you want to reach me, is Facebook.
Yes, I do want to mention this right before we take it home here, Patricia, that you put a lot of content out on your Facebook page. You go live, and every time you go live, I say to myself, and if I'm not right here on my computer and Patricia Summerland goes live and it pops up, Patricia Summerland, Sunny Glow is live. It's where is she at now? And you do little videos and stuff, and you get a lot of interaction. And I got to say, is you interact with a lot of people, and people interact with you, and it's fantastic. It's fantastic.
I love it. I love that. It's so much fun, and it's important to let people into your lives so they do get to know you. I believe in that, and it's important. And I guess I am every bit my character because Roxy says, "Oh my gosh, you're so sunny," which I don't know. Sometimes that's a bad thing because I forget. We tease each other, but it's I'm like that's brain fog. It's okay.
Speaking of Roxy.
Well,
speaking of Roxy, I did catch the video that you and her at the convention that happened, I guess, a couple months ago there in California there. I forget which convention it was, though, but someone put a video up, and I watched it, and I loved it because I loved your interaction you had with her, and it was just great. It was just great.
Yes, we do that. We interact well together. We work well together, and that's a good thing because in this business, it's sometimes hard, to have that simpatico, as we call it, and it's a rare thing, and you got to run with it. So, yeah, that's one thing we definitely have, and I really like that. And the group of girls that we have in Afterglow, we all interact well together, and that's a good thing. It's a positive thing, and there is no negativity, no bullying, nothing. So I'm pretty happy about that.
That's amazing. That is amazing. I want to thank you for taking time out tonight. I know last week we were supposed to have this, though, but I'm glad that we did this tonight, and I've been wanting to get you on for a while to have a one-on-one, and it's great. Come back on again at a future date. We could do this again and just talk about whatever.
Absolutely, I would love to. And there'll always be more.
Yes.
You know that.
Oh, yes, yes. Once you come on the Everett Lee Show...
shines, there's always more, as we say.
What's that?
Thank you, Everett. I loved it. And have a wonderful, blessed Thanksgiving to you and yours and everyone out there listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Have a good night, and we'll keep in contact.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Patricia Summerland, Sunny, the California girl. I want to thank her again for coming on the podcast tonight. And before I wrap this up and take it home, I want to mention that you can follow Podcast City Network, the official host of The Everett Lee Show. Head over to podcastcity.net for The Everett Lee Show, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast, Wrestle Popcast, The Imaginary with Scott and Todd, Super Radio Brothers, and much, much more. Final Score and Chris Carnage Show right there on podcastcity.net. Like them and follow them on Facebook, Podcast City Network, which we just hit over 400 likes. So do that and follow them on Twitter at PodcastCityNet. Subscribe to them on the YouTube channel, Podcast City Network, and on Twitch, Podcast City Network. More to Everett Lee Show. Follow me right here on Everett Lee Show on Facebook. Send me a tweet over on Twitter at the Everett Score Lee, Instagram Everett Lee Show, and audio portions of this podcast and previous release podcast right there on Everett Lee Show YouTube. Stitcher Radio, give a rating and a review right there on Stitcher Radio. Download that app for your smartphone and tablet or your device. Also, iTunes, give a rating and a review right there on iTunes, and everettleeshow.podbeam.com. Right there, the official audio host of the Everett Lee Show. And that is it. ladies and gentlemen, for the Everett Lee Show. I do want to mention that I hope everyone out there has a happy and safe holiday this week right here and into the new year. So, Everett Lee is signing off. I'll see you again next week for another episode of the Everett Lee Show. Peace.